Hey everybody, welcome to Edging with Trash and Monk. I'd like to open up this episode with a quick acknowledgement that we're going to be recycling a bit. Now that you may think, oh, it's lazy. No, we're trying to be carbon neutral here at the podcast. Okay, we're trying to not, waste energy making new and exciting bits. We're just going to recycle some bits for you. And scene. Connor.
Yes, Ramirez. Yes.
Hola. Hola. There we go. Yeah, that's hola. ¿Cómo estás?
I was gonna do the French thing, but he's not even fucking French, so it's more like, oh, hello, Ramirez.
Hello, Ramirez. No,
it's Ramirez.
Just to, like, say baguette in the most American accent you can imagine.
Baguette.
That's what Americans sound like. That's what Americans sound like, everyone. I was actually doing a French accent earlier because I was like, I was looking at the Notre Dame, and so just saying, try harder. I'm kidding. Don't try harder. French is a joke language. Let's hit it.
All the power you ever had. This is all the power you ever had. Now it is mine. Pity, there is not more time for us.
You tell him it's open season on all suckheads.
No more clowning around! Fire
Is that gasoline I smell? No, man. No!
Welcome, everyone, to Edging with Trash and Monk, the most environmentally friendly podcast on the planet, telling you that the best way you can recycle is by drinking your own piss. Right, Brian?
That's so true. As an avid Waterworld watcher, that's really and truly the best thing you can do is, first off, collect solar energy through your skin. Sunburns aren't real.
That's true.
And also to drink your own piss.
Something you can do if you really want to be extra about it, which I think it's great if you do, but no hard feelings if you don't, is to have a big pit of green sludge that you tossed all your dead relatives in and drink that too.
Yeah, drink from that. Actually, it creates a really nice, refreshing beverage. We like to call it the green machine at every coffee shop in the planet.
Why is it every coffee shop has the same fucking names for their drinks?
Because creativity's dead, as shown by this podcast, where we recycle our bits for, to save energy. It's important, okay? We're saving the environment.
We're saving my own energy.
Yeah. There you go. This is just so we'll have better bits later.
That's true. That's true.
You can't always have a good bit, or else you never have a good bit. That's how it works.
Listen, you think that for the rest of the podcast is how many hours are in a week? 144 or something, some shit like that.
I don't know how to count. Come on.
Yeah, it's 144 hours a week. So
oh wow,
you think for the
math head over here?
You think for the 142 hours when I don't have a hot mic on me for the podcast, I'm funny? Well, you'd be right, but that shouldn't be expected of.
Yeah, but that's shouldn't be expected, and it might be illegal. Okay, so keep that in mind. By the way, speaking of that, I came up with this whole bit earlier, about how they were like restoring Notre Dame, right? You know how that big old big bitch church fucking burned down, like. Get it? Because it's Notre Dame.
If they
Get it? Get it?
If they built it out of asbestos, then we wouldn't be having this problem. So
that's so true. Instead, they built it out of lead, which then vaporized and poisoned half the city of Paris. Which very funny, but very funny in like an evil way, not a good way. I'm not in support of giving lead poisoning to Parisians.
What's actually funny is all the cigarette smoke in the air will carry the lead away into the upper atmosphere where it disperses throughout the globe.
That's true. And that way they can show their gift of lead to the world.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So you know how they're rebuilding the Notre Dame, right? They've got this nice big tower that like fell down very spectacularly in the middle.
But
and
Brian,
I was like, you know,
I was just looking at a post from some fucking Roman statue fascist on Twitter saying we don't know how to build cathedrals anymore. How are we rebuilding this cathedral?
How can we do that? Well, this actually concerns those very same people, because I was saying that, and I was watching, it was like a Nova program with my pa, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm like, oh yeah, well, it'd be really cool if they did something cool where they put like a prism at the top, so like funneled light down and like lit the cathedral.
Or
that
they
way
put
they
like
could, then
a big sphere at the top.
Or they put like a big LED sphere at the top. That'd be pretty cool too. But I think prisms are pretty cool. I'm a prism head,
Yeah. That would be cool too, because you could point it at like a certain spot and like super focus it there so that it burns you like an ant if you walk in the wrong spot.
I mean, that'd be pretty fucking tight, actually.
Isn't there like one of those that like big curved, stupid looking fucking skyscraper in the UK melted a skyscraper next to it from that?
That's really funny. I didn't know that, but I believe it. I think it'd be really cool to do that, and then you can burn infidels. I don't know. Is that what Christians call people?
I think they pretend they don't like that word.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Heretics?
I think
Heathens?
I think witches.
Witches? Okay.
Blasphemers.
That's right. So it would be really cool to have like an immolator in the middle of Notre Dame.
That's what it is.
No, yeah, burn the wokes. That's it. They have the woke fire. That's what and it's the place where they immolate the woke. Marine Le Pen, brought it into existence, smashed a bottle of nice French champagne on it, to christen it.
Only actually champagne if it comes from the Champagne region of.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is from Champagne. In France. What is fucking Champagne, California? That'd be so funny. The Champagne region of California. Okay, but I was like, oh yeah, but what if they did that and then they could like have like a counter lensing to like light the whole cathedral? And my dad was like, oh yeah, wouldn't that be cool? And they could like tell people that it's like green or something like that. And I was like, yeah, but they can't do that because like all the people who support rebuilding this cathedral are fucking neo-Nazis. So like, that's probably not true. By the way, there's probably a lot of other less fascistic people that are into it, less Roman statue people, who are into rebuilding it. But like, those are the people who are really into it.
The only people who are talking about it in English are people who are fascists.
That's true. And so, just looking, I was like, oh yeah, that'd be funny. But I was like, yeah, like what is Marine Le Pen going to be like? Oh yeah, green initiative. All of a sudden you're going to have like all the French farmers rolling up on the Capitol, just being like, no green Notre Dame, no green Notre Dame, no woke Notre Dame. And I just thought that it was really funny image of like of a bunch of like yellow vesters. Sorry, gilets jaunes. Going and rushing the Capitol over woke Notre Dame.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
They
do it in France. Unfortunately, the French desire to light the entire world on fire whenever anything slightly doesn't go your way applies to the right wingers. So
yeah, it does, and it's I love it because you see a bunch of Americans being like, hell yeah, fucking let's go France. And half the time, like literally half the time, it's these like petit bourgeois farmers coming in and being like, oh yeah, fucking the government's taxing me bad. It's like, it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
great.
I would have more respect for small business owners in America if they would light a cop car on fire, though, to be honest. I mean, I'd still think they were like the spawn of Satan. But like at least they'd be cool.
Yeah, at least they'd be like willing to put their money where their mouth is instead of just being like, hello, officer, can you come kill a minority for me? Like, come on now.
Landlords are the most oppressed class in America.
Yo, wasn't there literally a TikTok of somebody doing like that exact meme the other day?
I sent you one that was from New Zealand, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. Just amazing stuff. Landlords, never mind. You know what I was gonna say. I don't need to say it.
We can we can still keep our rule about no suicide jokes on the podcast when talking about what should happen to land. But maybe some other things will happen.
Yeah, maybe some other things. I can't imagine anything bad happening to landlords. God, I would actually be okay with the sparrows going away if it meant less landlords. That's all I'm saying. Intense, painful diarrhea. Yeah, that's so true. Thank you, Joey, from our live studio audience. I appreciate it. By the way, everybody, if you don't know, we do this show in a Discord channel so people can participate live. So if you want to join, please do. But anyways, how was your week? I guess it's only been like 2 or 3 days since we recorded the last episode, isn't it?
Yeah, we did the last one at the last curtain possible moment. So yeah, it's been an eventful 2 days. I sat around and did jack shit.
Nice.
And had a real estate person fucking flake on me. It's so hard to fucking find an apartment in Chicago when you don't live in Chicago.
I believe
I
that.
gotta say,
it's tough.
Apparently, living somewhere.
Chicago.
Yeah. Apparently, living somewhere is important to finding a house there, and like being able to see the place and shit like that. Although I can't even blame the real estate agent, which is my natural inclination.
As is rating good. Yeah.
Yeah, just because it's like. It's the tenants that are flaking. And I get it. I'm a tenant. If my landlord wanted to come in and like make a video of the place for someone else, I'd be like, no, fuck you. I don't give a shit. But also, it's me. God damn it. I
care about me. God damn it. Show me one of the ones that's just sitting empty for your fucking portfolio, you fucking rich bitch.
That's the thing is Chicago actually has a healthy housing market, so that isn't
really damn it. What does Illinois got like laws or something to protect tenants or something? Like disgusting.
Do have laws. I think it's just that there's a lot of demand right now.
That people just like Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited for you to move out there because I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I'll take the Empire Builder out there and go eat some fake pizza.
Is that the Amtrak line?
Yeah. The Empire Builder. It's the one that goes to the Midwest.
You know, the last time I was on a really, that's the name of the fucking. It's got some genocidal implications,
doesn't it?
But anyway, I last time I was on the Amtrak, I was on the Texas Eagle, which is a similarly stupid but not as genocidal name. And I was sitting next to this old guy, and who was like you could tell that like he was maybe not long for this earth.
I'm riding the train until I die.
And like he like wanted to I had booked like the window seat, but he wanted the window seat because that was his old man special interest, is riding the train around and looking out the window.
Hell yeah.
And I didn't want to take the window from him because I didn't know how many scenic train rides he had left. Ordinarily, I'd say go fuck yourself, old man. But if you're on death's door, I can give you the window seat.
Yeah. For real. It's like, hey man, fucking I see you. I see your shaking hands and and the spittle on your quivering lip and
the smell
and the smell of piss pervading you and you deserve it. You've made it this far.
But he told me that was actually the best Amtrak route, the one that you're talking about.
Yeah, I believe it. I actually have a different opinion though.
Yeah.
I think the best Amtrak route is the Coastal Starlight.
Yeah.
Which runs along the West Coast, up and down.
Well, that's because you're fucking West Coasty fucking yuppie asshole.
Yeah, I'm a coastal elite. And yes, I am better than you. Yeah, no, the Coastal Starlight's beautiful though. It's a really nice ride. It's just up and down the coast. Pretty, and the best thing about riding Amtrak is it's like pretty cheap, kind of.
Yeah.
Not like shockingly, but it's like, it's like buying your
when I stayed within Texas state lines, when I took Amtrak from Dallas to Austin a couple times, it was like $17 to book it like a week ahead of time.
Yeah, that's it, right?
And that's pretty good. That's like bus prices, and it's nicer than the bus. I will say that I would rather take Amtrak 100% of the time over the bus if it's.
Yeah, the one problem with Amtrak, in fact, is that occasionally the trains will shit the bed, and then you have to ride an Amtrak bus, which sucks.
Yeah,
but as long as the train's working, which usually it is, then it's all good.
Yeah,
and it's affordable, and you can go all over the place. You have to talk to less people. The air is less caked with people shitting and getting their air passed around in the tin cabin of an airplane. All you have to do is sacrifice a couple extra hours, and you know what? Worth it.
See, here's the thing: is I was thinking about taking Amtrak up to Chicago when I move, but really tempting because I've checked out the prices, and a one-way Amtrak trip versus a one-way flight in first class about the same, and the only difference is the Amtrak is actually 20 hours longer than a nonstop flight from DFW to O'Hare.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other part is that if you're going that way, it's kind of a I don't is there like a direct line? I don't think there's a direct line, is there?
No, there's a direct line that goes pretty much straight. It goes from Dallas to
really?
Like St. Louis to Chicago pretty much. And
it still takes 20 hours.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, that's a little bit much, I think.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
But I thought about it. Especially because like I'm gonna have like I'm trying to sell everything I have and have like 2 suitcases and that's it. But I think I'll probably just check those suitcases instead of trying to, because I was thinking about a roomette. I think that'd be cool. But I don't know. I think I'm just gonna fly, but I'm not flying coach because
because you love yourself.
Because I don't need to. If it was round trip, I'd probably fly coach. If it was one way, I'll fuck it. It's like $100. I can deal with $100 plane ticket.
Yeah, here's the thing. Coach is evil. Airplane companies created Coach just to punish people. It's like I feel like Coach exists just to for people to be like, ha 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 ha. Look at these poor immigrants in steerage, it's like that on the Titanic, I'm referencing the Titanic.
Have you seen every once in a while they'll have like the prototypes of like that some fucking aerospace engineer will come out with about like, here's how we fit 13% more people on the airplane. It's the most uncomfortable shit you've ever seen here. It's like, it's not standing up in like a 10-degree incline and there's stacked on top of someone else.
We know how to fit more people on this plane by making them stand in a stress position for the next 5 hours. Oh my god. I mean, the thing is, they'll do it.
Yeah. Will they lower the price of the tickets to compensate? No. But they'll do
no, not at all. Don't worry. Don't worry. Whoever the fuck's making money off that shit is not losing any profits. Okay. I know you're worried about that. I'm worried about that. Okay. I'm crying. Actually,
I
I'm sobbing
every night thinking about the airline owner.
You know, whoever owns Alaska, that sicko.
What's
Whoever
your
owns
favorite? Who do you fly?
Southwest.
Who do you
Bitch, I don't fly.
Right, I forgot you're on the list.
You know, I wouldn't be shocked at this point, to be honest. You know, last time I flew was probably it's got to be like 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe even longer. I
So
think the last time I flew it might have been shut up. No, I think the last time I flew might have been flying back from New York when I was like 19.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's been a long time. And yeah, I hate it. I hate it every time. I hated it before 9/11. I hate it. I hate it now. I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I would prefer to spend a long time on a train than a short time on a plane. Because I don't want to soak in other people's flying sweat in the air.
You heard it here first, folks. Brian, not a fan of soaking.
No.
Not a
True.
soaker.
I'm banned from Utah. Is Brian joking about that? You don't know. You don't know. You don't know.
Last flight I was on, I actually I had to literally like just hold my arm like in front of me in coach because this was like a fucking nightmare small plane, but it was $15 cheaper than the than the real plane. So that's what my company paid for.
Yeah, it's tough, especially for the thicker among us, you know, sitting especially in an aisle seat. Not
aisle
good.
Is bad. Middle is worse. I don't think it should be allowed to have a middle. I think it's
No.
If you put someone in the middle seat, that should be illegal.
Well, that's so true. So we just heard from chat that a certain person, Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez, also flew on a plane. I think this is Joey trying to say that we should talk about the movie.
Potentially.
I think.
Yeah.
Now let's not talk about the movie.
Here's the thing: the movie was a giant sack of shit. So if you're really on your fucking edge of your seat waiting to hear, is Highlander 2 secretly the best movie ever made? The answer is no.
Yeah, you don't need to see this one. I want you to know that, folks. You do not need to see.
Yeah, you don't need to see this one. You probably don't need to see the next one. Are we going to watch the next one? Absolutely. Are we going to do a podcast about it? Up in the air. to be determined.
Maybe. You never know. We did watch Highlander 2 The Quickening, and I don't even think you know how they talk about the quickening in the first Highlander, right?
Yeah, I don't think they use the words the quickening at all in this one.
I don't think this has anything to do with the quickening.
I guess he quickens when he kills that one. Well, he doesn't even kill that first guy because the first guy.
Oh yeah.
The first guy gets caught under a train and his head gets rolled off by the train's wheel.
And he just sucks up the energy because
he's a Highlander. I mean, they do that in the first movie, but it was also stupid in the first movie. So
that's true. Unlimited power in French.
Unlimited power.
I actually have no idea how to say power in French. So
I don't know how to say in French either.
Unlimited. Unlimited.
There's probably an X in power.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. This movie, yeah, sucks. I don't know why. What's his name again?
Christopher Lambert.
Christopher Lambert. Yeah, thank you. I was trying to remember that like all day. I was talking about this movie at work, actually.
Yeah.
To torture my coworkers.
So you were talking about the movie at work, and now you're going to play this podcast episode at work and have round 2 of Brian talking about.
Yeah, I'm going to force them to listen to this too.
Hi everyone.
Hi. Yeah. So this movie starts off with Christopher Lambert as an old man.
And he's doing a fucking old man voice too. Hold on.
It's the worst.
He's like, I'm so old, I can't speak anymore. It's like so bad.
It's like he's doing this like the stupid Christopher Lambert voice already, where he's like, but he's like he levels it up to be like also old. So he's like, I'm old. I'm the old Highlander.
And he's not even attempting to do a Scottish accent. Like before he had a bad Scottish accent that he would try to do, and like you could see he was like every once in a while the director would be like, okay, you got to do that a little bit more Scottish. But it's just he's not even trying.
Yeah,
not there even remotely.
And he's right to give up. This movie doesn't deserve it, but also he's the reason. Like, yeah. Well, he's awful. Like Christopher Lambert is awful.
Yeah, he's awful. I don't want to give any credit to Christopher Lambert because yes, you're right. He is a reason why this movie sucks shit. I gotta say, there's a lot of other reasons. He's not the reason.
Okay, you're right. The special effects are rancid. Remember the scene when the porcupine like flies into the wall?
Yeah,
and they just have like a crane that's just like, yeah, slide about, and they don't even try and like speed it up or anything.
So what Brian's referring to when they say the porcupine is he is talking about the futuristic race of sci-fi aliens that live in the past and created the Highlanders and sent them, or created ? It's unclear. The Highlanders and sent them forward into the future to compete to the death. And then after Connor McLeod wins, goes forward into the future again. And they've got like hoverboards and shit, and they're trying to kill Connor McLeod. And they've also act kind of like Kurgan did in Highlander 1, but not nearly as good. Like, yeah, they didn't get Clancy Brown or anyone, so they just have these random guys who I don't think are real people. No, just like going, they don't know that.
They just like sticking their tongues out and going, bah. Which is like, okay, that's almost like a Clancy Brown thing. Almost, kind of. But you got like some really bad actors and put some really bad prosthetics on them, so they look like they have fucking porcupine spines on the back of their head.
Yeah,
inexplicably. There's like
I thought that was their hair, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's but like there's like literally porcupine spines. Go look at them. They have porcupine spines coming out the back of their head.
I don't know why. I don't want to look. So
no, I mean it doesn't fucking matter. They don't bring it up in the movie other than just to show them. They don't do anything. It's meaningless.
Oh, it's especially meaningless because there's multiple points in the fight scene where like for example, there's like I don't think it's a whole 5 minutes, but it feels like 5 minutes of fucking Christopher Lambert after killing, or he doesn't even kill the first one. It was industrial accident that killed the first one.
That's true. That's true.
He's still an old man when he's fighting them, and then the first one of them that dies has him and is about to kill him, and then just slips and falls on a banana peel and crushes their own head off underneath the train. Because
the effect is,
yeah.
The effect's all right. I like the rubbery head getting removed from.
I do body like it. I think it looked cheesy, but I do like it.
It was bad, but I loved it. Right. That's one of the few parts I was like, this is at least fun.
It felt like it was fun, and also it was fun, especially because this is like a total like 180 degree like tone shift from everything the movie's been like so far. It's like, oh my god.
Mhm. Yeah, whoa. But then it happens again
Yeah.
when the second one, because the first one dies. Christopher Lambert like gets all his age, he gets de-aged
Yeah.
back to being Christopher Lambert. And then he's like, I'm back. And he's like, okay. And he goes back and he gets the sword from the dead one. He's like, okay, I don't have to use a lead pipe anymore.
Yeah.
And he goes to fight the other one. And the other one's just like flying around, shooting people. A guy asks for a light, and then the porcupine man just like shoots him with a gun and he explodes.
But then
It's
there's like this
stupid.
extended scene where he's on the hoverboard and the other guy's on the hoverboard. And it's like 5 minutes of them going around in circles and nothing happens. And then
Yep.
and then fucking Christopher Lambert hops off the hoverboard and the other guy also dies in an industrial accident where he flies into some fucking cable or some shit.
Christopher Lambert sets that up. Actually, he
Okay.
he wraps some cord around the sword
That's-
and then pulls it up like a choke line, and it just cuts the guy's head off. And then the scene happens where he slow motion just kind of drifts into like a power panel, and then his body explodes.
Yeah.
Well, his head's been removed already, and it looks awful. It looks stupid. It looks awful. It's not even funny. It's just like, why? Why would you
and
do
it's
that?
so pointless. And it's like this
Mhm.
is like the type of thing that makes me want to jump off a bridge when I'm watching a movie like this, where it's like
Mhm.
jump off a bridge into a pile of water below, or I will land safely. When
Sharks.
when I'm watching a movie where it's like a scene starts and then a scene ends, and the ending of the scene, we're literally back to the exact same state we were before we started the scene, and nothing interesting
Yep.
happened and nothing progressed at all. It's like, okay, this is like the easy. You're just putting fucking filler in the movie, and a lot of shit that people call filler isn't filler. It's there for like, they like the Casino Planet, for example. Is
Yeah.
a great example of something that is not filler.
It is not filler.
Whether you
People
like it
scream
or
about
not,
being filler.
whether you
Doesn't
like it
matter
or
if you
not.
like it. Yeah, exactly. It is there for a reason. It is not filler. It has narrative and also storytelling purpose. It's just
But-
you don't have to like it. It's fine. But
But
like
fucking
this one is
Christopher
just like,
Lambert hopping on the hoverboard and flying around in circle and then hopping off the hoverboard is filler.
Yeah. yeah, that part's filler. That there's even a second porcupine person is all filler. That's unimportant. None of that matters.
I'm
The
having
only
a
reason
hard
the first
time.
one matters at all is that it is like somebody whose life essence Christopher Lambert can steal to turn young again. And also like the whole reason, I don't know, there's this whole other plot going on, the actual plot of the movie going on, that just gets literally stuffed into a trunk for a minute here.
Yeah.
Literally
on.
stuffed in a
I want to
trunk.
know. I want to know, because I have thoughts about this. I want to know what you think the actual plot of the movie is.
Oh god. Okay, so the actual plot of the movie, there's two of them. There's two like plots that intersect, right?
Yeah.
They both involve Connor McLeod, Christopher Lambert.
Yeah.
And it's okay, Christopher Lambert created this ozone protection magnetosphere for the earth because people were spraying too much hairspray in the 80s and destroyed the atmosphere, which is very funny that's like, that's what they went with. They were like, yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Remember, when this movie was made, people knew about carbon dioxide warming the planet. Like that was something people knew about.
Yeah.
They still went for ozone. And so fast forward, Connor McLeod is involved in the creation of the Shield Corporation, I think it's called, and they create the big magnetosphere for Earth that turns the whole sky blue, so everything looks like shit. And then fast forward to 2024, this year, and fucking Christopher Lambert's ancient, and he's like around, and the Michael Ironsides, who oh god, why does it have to jump around in time so much?
Yeah.
Michael Ironsides' character, who's like the big bad in this movie, who banished Ramirez and Connor McLeod to the future from some weird past on like a high-tech sand dune with a council of assholes.
It really makes no god. Like it's hard to describe because it's like they didn't even try.
General Katana. That's right. His name's General Katana. Michael Ironsides plays a character named General Katana.
And you know, this is why I don't want to blame the whole movie on Christopher Lambert. And because like God bless Michael Ironsides. He's like trying his best. And he's one of my favorite actors. I love him in everything he does.
Yeah.
But when you have a movie that makes it a pain to watch fucking Michael Ironsides, that's the movie's problem. That's not Michael Ironsides' problem.
Like the high points of this movie are actually Sean Connery and Michael Ironsides.
Yeah.
And that's wild.
Can we talk about what Sean Connery does in this fucking movie? So here's the whole Sean Connery arc, right? Is they have the flashback in the past, right? To Sean Connery sort of I think he's giving Connor McLeod his Highlander powers. And then they immediately get their shit wrecked and captured and sent to the future.
Yeah.
But then what happens essentially after absorbing the first fucking guy, this is like 30 minutes into the movie, by the way, because the first 30 minutes are literally nothing happening and Connor McLeod wandering around getting harassed by strangers and saying, yeah, I'm the Highlander. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. I love it. The fucking punks come up to like rob him and they're like, you're Connor McLeod. And he's like, yeah. And they're like, oh,
except he doesn't say it
run
cool.
away.
He says it like, yeah, I'm Connor McLeod.
Yeah, I'm Connor McLeod. Like, seriously, like Bad Grandpa has a better old man impression than this.
But yeah.
Wild.
So fucking like he kills that first guy and then he says Ramirez as he's getting de-aged and that spawns Ramirez in somewhere on the map. So the Ramirez scenes we get are he suddenly appears in the middle of a play and it's fucking Sean Connery not knowing he's in the middle of like the fucking soliloquy in Hamlet that everyone knows that I don't remember the name of.
Alas, poor Yorick, yada yada yada.
So he's in that and he's on stage and he's just talking to the guy. And I think the joke that they're going for, because Sean Connery's character is played 100% for comedic relief in this movie, which is fucking
ideal. I love that.
Yeah.
That's the way it needs to be. And it's great.
I don't think they could have gone for any sort of dramatic tension because the rest of the movie would have made you think, oh, I don't actually care about this. So I would ordinarily say that if it was a better movie, there'd be some sort of like dramatic stake to like him being alive again and seeing what's around him. But in this movie, I wouldn't give a shit because everything else is so stupid that if they tried to make those scenes good, I would just not care. So having him be comedy relief is at least like it's cheap, but it's cheap and it's something that I don't hate looking at.
It's fine. I like he's fun. He has fun. We have fun. That's all I can ask in this movie is that anything fun happens.
Yeah.
And that's fun. Okay.
So he's in the soliloquy scene and then he wanders out. And then I think some more bullshit in the main plot of the movie happens. And then we go back to Sean Connery, fucking Ramirez, and he's wandering into a clothing store. And they've sort of retconned this guy being Egyptian or Spanish or Japanese or a space alien out of existence. And because I think Sean Connery just was like, you have to make me Scottish in this one. I was upset that I had to be a Spaniard.
Someone of Egypt.
I was upset to be playing a swarthy character.
I would not be shocked if he said that. Sean Connery, you sicko. But we don't know for sure. But
I think he's dead, so I think we can actually speak as ill as we want of Sean Connery now.
That's so true.
But yeah, so he's like full Scottish, and he's at the oldest Scottish tailor in wherever the fuck he is. And
Scotland, apparently.
yeah, so he goes there and he hands them one of his earrings, and they give him his suit and book him a limo and a plane ticket.
Yep. What the fuck is that earring? Jesus Christ!
It's like a montage of them fucking like making his suit for him while he fucking hams it up for the camera.
A comedic montage too. Fucking the montage is like, oh, he's getting a suit made, and the guy who runs the suit place is like, oh yeah, we'll put something together, and they start putting together something pretty nice, and this like one guy keeps showing up and being like, let's put some tartan in there, and they keep being like, no, don't. And it's played for comedy. It's played for comedy that they're like, don't put tartan in that, you idiot.
Yeah.
And they just keep doing it. And they just keep the scene going. He's smoking a cigar and drinking while he's getting a suit made on him. And it's just like, it's inconceivable. I don't know. It's so weird, but it's like kind of charming, which this movie does need, because this movie's not charming generally. So
yeah. So we have that scene. I'm going to go through all of them because every one of the Sean Connery scenes are fucking great.
Yeah, they're fun.
They're the only part of the movie that's, I think, at all redeemable.
I have one other thing I like in this movie, but you go ahead. I'll talk about what I like in the movie after that.
So one of the fucking things he's doing is he's like, there's all of these like gags that they do about, oh, he's from the past, so he doesn't know what the present's like. But like a lot of the things that he doesn't know are just make him seem like he's fucking like stupid. You know? Like it's certain things that are like timeless. Like when he's like, I would like you to craft an outfit, a suit of clothing for me, or some shit. Like, are you fucking for real? You didn't.
Yeah.
But anyway, so after he leaves there, he's on the plane, and he's fucking, two things happen on the plane. Is he's talking to this drunk lady next to him. He's like, how can we be sure we're safe on this aeroplane as we fly through the sky? And then he watches like this safety video that shows the airplane fucking crash landing, which I thought was
yeah, the lady who's next to him is like, oh, you know how we know we're safe is by drinking a lot. is the joke. And it's just like the stupidest fucking plane scene I've ever seen, but it was funny.
But then he's chatting it up with this lady next to him, and he says a line that I can only imagine that Sean Connery ad-libbed based on other things he said to random women he sat next to on planes. He says, you know, the most beautiful women in all of history have dark hair, like Cleopatra.
Oh my God.
What are some of the other examples?
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't. I don't remember that part very well.
Cleopatra, Joan of Arc, and you know they also like to sit on men's faces.
Oh my God! What a sick motherfucker.
That's like, it has to be based on a truth. That has to just be something Sean Connery said to someone. That's such a fucking insane line that I can't imagine a writer put that in the script.
Right. Also, wait, Cleopatra, Joan of Arc, and does he say Aphrodite?
He might have said Aphrodite or something. I don't fucking know what he said.
There was a song that came out in the 90s, and I just wonder if they were quoting this movie, because that'd be hilarious. But, you know, it doesn't matter. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, okay. Was there anything else that Sanchez...
He sort of goes in stasis while a lot of the real movie happens, and then he just randomly shows up. The next time he shows up, he's part of the fucking real movie, and he has one more good scene, but the rest of it is dragged down by having to be on screen with Christopher Lambert.
Yeah, it's awful. It's like, oh, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna do Highlander magic, and it's like, okay, cool, that's cool, fun. And then he's just done. It's like, okay.
Yeah, like the end of it. Well, do you want to just go to when he dies?
That's the old. I thought that was the scene you were talking about. Oh wait,
So-
no, that's when
They have like this whole fucking
the first
scene.
time.
Yeah, they have this whole well, no, I mean like at the end, because they have this whole fucking scene where like they're like going through the prison and they're like running around and acting crazy and they get shot a whole ton and shit like that. And like it's whatever. It's all just extremely boring. He does get
The
shot
only
like
cool
114 times and get up and kill someone.
The funny part in that scene is when they are just they are being they think that they're dead, right? Everybody's like, oh, they're dead, and they take them into like lay them on autopsy tables, and they're like next to the woman that they were smuggling in the trunk, the terrorist they're smuggling in the trunk, whatever you want to, the freedom fighter, I don't know, you know how it works. And they bring her in too, and they're like patching up her arm for some reason, because she's, I guess, been injured a little bit by being in the trunk when they crashed the car. And the two guys in the front, Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery, have been just lit up with bullets. And they're just like laying riddled on a table. And they're like, oh yeah, they're dead. And then they both sit up straight and are just like talking about how many times they were shot as like a joke. And nobody's like reacting to them sitting up straight.
Well, there's
after
also
being
like
obviously
there's the
killed.
one like coroner there who has like this really fucking goofy line read where he faints, and who I think is just some guy that answered the Craigslist ad to be an Highlander too.
Yeah.
So it's like I really like that guy. I thought that guy, he had a really shitty role in a really shitty written movie, but he's like he's doing his best.
He did his best, you know. There's several people who are doing their best. And you know who is really doing their best though?
Yeah.
Michael Ironsides.
Abso-fucking-lutely. I kind of want to talk about how Sean Connery dies and just get it over with.
Oh, go for it. Yeah, do it. Do it. And I want to talk about Michael Ironsides, so go do it.
Doing
quick.
in this fucking prison break, right? They're in there to get some fucking scientist guy who has this critical piece of information, and it's like he needs to give geographic coordinates, and like an hour earlier in the movie he gave them one of the coordinates, and now they have to break him out of prison so he can get the second coordinate for fucking no reason.
Yep.
And then he immediately dies while he's in prison, so he's literally there to tell Connor McLeod 2 numbers.
Yep.
So they're in this fucking prison break scene and it sucks, and then they all happen to wander into the death fan room where there's a big metal fan that spins really fast and comes on from the ceiling, and that's how they put you in the juicer.
It wasn't even spinning fast. They had him spinning slow. I was just like, this is so stupid.
And like fucking like Sean Connery is like, well, I'm going to die now. I'm done with being in the movie. And he casts some spell to hold up the fan using the quickening, although they don't call it the quickening, they just say some cheesy stuff, and bagpipes start playing and light flashes everywhere. And then he's holding up the fan and is just like, all right, you two leave, I'm going to stay here and get killed by the fan.
And then he dies.
But he is like, the fan, it's also like, it takes like fucking like 30 minutes, not that long, but like he has more than enough time to just walk out of it after all.
Yeah. But he's just like tapping out of the movie. And fair enough, honestly. I would also tap out of this movie. Oh, God. Anyways. There's one other character that you need to know about, okay?
Yeah.
And that's Michael Ironsides playing General Katana. Because he's like this like ancient evil man who had an army of people in black armor. Definitely not just another take on what's his name? Curzon. Right?
Kurgan, something like that.
Kurgan, that's right, yeah. Definitely not just Kurgan again. And motherfucker is just like comically evil. Everything he does is just comically evil. He's just walking around causing mayhem wherever he goes. But there's one scene that he really shines in, and that is when he rides the train. Because he gets on the train, right? I'm assuming New York, right? So it's the subway. Gets on the train, and immediately just starts like killing people. But nobody really responds to it. Everybody's kind of like, oh, okay. I'll just keep my head down, which maybe that's supposed to be the world's like then or something like that. But like,
that's New York, baby.
That's New York, baby. That's
I remember we were watching that movie. Because like the world in the movie is pretty fucked up, and there's like people like fucking fucking mattresses on the side of the road.
That's right.
It's always cloudy. And we're talking about like, oh, it's Portland.
Yeah. Yeah. So fucking Kurgan. No, sorry, General Katana. That was genuine, by the way. I did not mean to accidentally do that. You know, that was not an intentional joke. So, you know. But anyways, fucking Kurgan, God did it again. General Katana is on the train. He just like kills a guy who's got a monocle on. Not like a regular monocle, like a cyberpunk monocle, right?
I would too, so don't worry about
it. He's like watching a plane crash on his one eye, and then like looking at General Katana with his other eye.
He's watching just Godzilla.
Being like, oh, that's right. It's Godzilla. And then I thought a plane crash was funnier, so but yeah, so then he just kills that guy for no reason. He's like, okay, and he starts walking up the train, and there's a kid, and he's like, hey kid, don't you want to know what it's like to drive a train? And the kid's like, yeah. And he's like, me too. And he just walks to the front of the train and kills the driver and starts driving the train really fast. And it just starts spraying sparks all over the place. The scenes from the back of the train are just like people falling towards the back of the train as it's going hundreds of miles per hour. Like a literal baby is just like somebody had to like fling a baby, like a fake baby, of course. But in this movie, they did have to do that at the back wall. And I don't know who thought that was a good idea. Like, this is a movie from the 80s. Like people were weird about that, you know? People were weird about that in movies. They still are even. And they're just like, yeah, we got a little baby in a blue little swaddle and we're going to throw it at a wall. And he's just like standing in the front of the train making like the craziest faces you can imagine, and he's just like, you know, fucking being just a fucking freak about it, because Michael Ironsides is dedicated to the craft. He's a man of the craft. Okay,
that's true.
And just everyone's dying in the back of the train, and he's like and drives it through a wall, gets out, and is just like, yeah, everything's fine. I hate this movie, but he was like everything about that scene fucking sucks, except Michael Ironsides being like a fucking freak at the front of the car, and just being like, yeah, I'm getting weird with it. And that's just him through the whole movie, is him going and being like a complete psycho, killing people, and then and then just making like weird faces and laughing weird. And you know, we must stand. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say about Michael Ironsides.
Yeah, that's all anyone should have to say about Michael Ironsides, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. This fucking was rough to watch.
Yeah.
That's basically like this. We've been focusing so much on these scenes because the rest of the movie is like fucking like intolerably just dog shit, right? Like there's so many parts of the movie. The fucking guy from Scrubs, the angry guy, is in this.
Yeah, the doctor from Scrubs is in it, and he's just being angry. He's like a business guy instead of like a medical business guy. So you know,
He's like fucking like, because he's like the owner of like the mega corporation. That the big thing about this movie that really fucking pisses me off is it feels like there's no stakes to anything, because you don't get any sense at all of anyone's motivation for why they're literally doing anything at all, and why they're even here. Sean Connery's motivation is to collect a paycheck and make a bunch of fucking cheesy one-liners. I understand why he's in the movie. Everyone else, they're just sort of wandering from place to place until things sort of happen around them. And it's not even the heroes that are exclusively like that. Like the bad guys, like there's this big secret where like, oh, we actually don't need the big fucking electricity shield over the ozone layer anymore because it healed. But like, and like they're hiding it because it's going to be a media crisis. But it's like, is it really like? It's like, like the evil fucking profit hungry megacorp. Like I get that, right? But like. It's just like, really? Like they gotta live on this fucking earth too, and like it's like they don't see the sun ever, and they're just like, no, we have to keep it covered so people pay us. It's like it doesn't sell me as a motivate. Maybe if they were like pumping like mind control drugs through the atmosphere or something like that, I would understand it. But like, yeah, it's literally.
Like, oh, you're operating a shield to protect the Earth from burning up, and the Earth isn't going to burn up.
Yeah, but it's like literally, it's just not doing anything. Is like the plot of the movie.
It's like, oh, this pointless shield is there, cool, and it's making everything look bad. Great.
Yeah, it just feels like
it just makes the movie look like Zack Snyder did the color grading, and that's annoying.
Yeah, I would say it doesn't look that bad, but it is pretty bad.
It's they're leaning that way. I'll tell you that much. Okay,
maybe I don't know.
It's kind of like watching Superman. You know that one.
Fucking like. Yeah, and like the fucking motivation of General Katana is just. He's like theoretically in league with these like religious cult of aliens that are very concerned about Connor McLeod being in the future, even though it really supposedly just doesn't matter at all that he's in the future, because like they don't have any presence in the future at all aside from sending guys there to kill Connor McLeod. Like, what's the fucking like all of their shit doesn't matter. It all happened thousands of years ago. They're just like, fuck this guy. And they even have like Connor has a choice in theory between like staying as a mortal who can die in the present day or going back in time to rejoin the fucking evil cult people because he won the Highlander challenge. But like that doesn't feel like it has any narrative relevance at all to anything else that happens in the movie at all, or anything like anything that happens at all.
Yeah. None of it matters. Nothing at all ever matters in this movie.
So like these are like stakes is like there's a shield that doesn't need to be there, but some people want it to be there because they're making money, but it's ugly. And there's some guys a long time ago who didn't like Connor McLeod.
That's a movie, everybody.
And also, they didn't even have any sort of through line between these two antagonists. Like, sort of like Michael Ironsides teams up with the fucking guy from Scrubs, just because they both don't like Connor McLeod. But Michael Ironsides doesn't need these he doesn't give a shit. In fact, he like even threatens to kill them, and they don't do a goddamn thing for Michael Ironsides either, because he just has everything he needs to fight Connor McLeod. So it doesn't fucking matter if they're working together because they don't know each other and their partnership doesn't lead to anything.
Yeah, I mean, also Connor McLeod founded the organization that like is doing the shield too. And it's just like
his wife died of skin cancer. And he's sad about it.
Because his wife died because of radiation poisoning from the ozone destroying the lack of ozone in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's
And it sucks ass watching this movie too, because there'll be like these moments where it's trying to hit like this emotional note, and they'll literally like Connor McLeod will turn on the radio, or like there will be the shitty OST remix of Who Wants to Live Forever playing or some shit. And it makes me so mad when they play that, because it's like the first Highlander was not like, I would not call it an emotional movie, you know, but
no,
it at least had like some stakes to it. Like it felt like okay, there's something going on here. And like when fucking Queen starts playing, that's usually when that happens. And then it just feels like, okay, you're just you think you earned Queen on this one. Freddie Mercury's dead, and you're still doing this.
You're still doing it. You're still doing this with that. You're doing that like that. You're just gonna keep that train rolling, okay? Well, yeah, I don't know how this movie is supposed to feel about anything, because like the first like big moments you have is this like big battle between like the stupid twins and Connor McLeod, and they're like, oh yeah, it's cool, they're fighting in fucking the streets. They both die in stupid ways. There's like hoverboards that never come back and never mattered in the first place. All that stupid bullshit. And it's like, okay, cool. And then immediately he goes and is like, I'm young now. And the woman who just like tried to fuck with the factory that was creating the shield was just like, wow. And you saved me. Let's fuck in the street.
That's Portland, baby.
I was just losing my mind. I was like, you can't be for real right now. You're just gonna.
Well, she read all the books about him, so she's a fan.
Yeah, and also, just like, what's he doing?
Here's the other thing.
What's anyone doing?
Like Sean Connery, he's kind of playing like an older gentleman already when he's playing
Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez.
Yeah, there you go. He's already kind of an older Sean Connery, so when he comes back and he's like a completely gray hair Sean Connery in this movie, it's not that out of place, because like he already just looks like a big fucking hunk of beef jerky no matter what age he's at.
True. Basically, after he was done with James Bond, he just became ancient all of a sudden and looked the same age forever after, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the fucking Christopher Lambert, like he's, don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting he was attractive at all in Highlander 1, but he just looks like fucking like dog water in this movie. He's like sweaty. It feels like they didn't put any makeup on him.
Like, you know? They really did just make him look sticky.
like a big wad of like dude shaped taffy you'd find on the sidewalk. It's got like dirt all over.
It's not cool. He looks awful. Like, who decided this? Who did this? Why? The question that greets me most often when watching this movie was why.
Why is like a really fucking
why?
Yeah, why is a good one. And you know, to be honest, when I saw there were 5 Highlander movies, I knew that it would get to this point where they're releasing a movie that doesn't make sense for no reason. But I don't know how they came out with this movie and then released to a theatrical. I double checked to 3 theatrical releases for 3 additional movies after this one. I don't even know. It feels like this is as bad as you could possibly make a movie. Like we watched Lawnmower Man 2 for reasons other than the pod. And it was like that. This is just like the type of movie that you make when like a studio says, we're contractually obligated to make this movie. So here's all these props that we have left over from this other movie and a couple actors, go wild. You have like 3 months.
Yep.
That's probably why the movie is the way it is. In most cases, if I had to do my patented speculating of how the movie was made when I have no actual information on it, that's probably why. And it felt like that for Lawnmower Man 2 as well. And that's like about as bad as you can expect a movie to ever be and still have it be released in theaters. And they made fucking 3 more of them.
Yeah, after that, they continued.
Yeah.
How? We have just been provided with a piece of information. I don't know where it's from, but according to this, what looks like a little wiki piece right here, Highlander 2 was panned by critics and fans and is considered to be one of the worst films ever made. I was unaware that it had quite that esteemed status.
Yeah.
Going in, but
I've seen worse, I gotta say, but
yeah, there's definitely worse movies out there. This is really bad, though.
Yeah. Ryan, would you rather watch Highlander 2 or Versus?
You know, I feel like Versus at least like owns that it's doing nothing most of the time. Well, this movie is like, yeah, there's nothing happening, but it's important. And it's not. But that's kind of what they're trying to sell it as.
Yeah.
So I think Versus Edge is just ahead of this one for me.
Just barely, though.
Just barely. I mean, honestly, when you were saying that this movie was doing nothing and like was doing things that didn't need to happen at all, I immediately thought about making a jab about Versus. Not gonna lie.
It's fun to watch when Versus does it, is the thing. It's not fun to watch when Highlander 2 does it.
Yeah, that's true. Like this is like somehow worse, uglier than Versus, which is a movie that is pretty profoundly ugly. It looks like Versus looks like it was recorded on VHS tape, and it probably was. I think it definitely was.
I think it definitely was. I think I've read that it was recorded.
Yeah. And this was not. This was recorded with equipment and had like sets.
Yeah.
There were sets. It wasn't based in the a forest to save on money, right? This was like people put effort in this. They bought like labor. They like bought the labor of lots of people to make this steaming dog of shit. This is like way more offensive than Versus could ever be. Right?
Because Versus, you can tell, no matter how much you hate fucking Versus, you can tell that there was a person who was like, I need to make this movie, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like low
this
budget.
This movie feels like everyone
like
involved had to make it. Like, it doesn't feel like anyone in the production, like some people were having fun with it, but this is like everyone there is clocking in, you know?
Like, I don't know if anyone was having fun with this movie. I think everybody hated making this movie.
I think people probably hated making the movie, but they're at least like that one guy who fucking does the faint when he sees Sean Connery, like the fucking coroner guy. That guy, I think, was having a little bit of fun with his scene. No, like,
I think at least he was like, this is my chance.
Yeah. And a few people are kind of acting their ass off in this movie, even if it's not very good, you know?
Yeah, even if it's people with porcupine heads that are just acting stupid.
Yeah.
So they can get into like a music video at some point or something like that. Sure. Fuck it. But like, god damn this movie fucking sucked. I didn't expect it to suck as much as it did.
No, I didn't either. I was expecting like Highlander 4 or 5 to suck as much as it did. Which makes me really excited to see what fucking happens next, honestly. I'm
scared. Like, there's a threshold of shit that makes it really hard to watch a movie. You know, like when you get to your Crank 2s and shit like that, where it's like, oh.
I think Crank 2 is better than Highlander 2. I honestly would kind of want to go back and watch Crank 2 the rest of the way on my own. That movie was like egregiously, when their fucking horse cot came on scene, I decided I wanted to stop streaming it to the crowd I was with the time.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely part of it for sure. But I gotta say, it felt like the problem with Crank 2, I feel like, is more that it's like, oh, well, we've taken Crank 1 and remade it, but this time it's we tweaked it. We tweaked it a little bit to make it a little different. And it's like, okay, that's like fine. And then, but then it's just like such like a bad imitation of the first attempt that it's just like,
you're right.
oh
what's
God.
interesting to Crank 2 about Crank 2 for me? We're gonna probably do a Crank episode at some point. Crank 1, because I actually do like Crank 1, even though it's kind of shitty.
Crank 1's shitty, but it's fun at least, and there's like actors I like in it and stuff like that. You know,
but like I'm gonna spoil my fucking take for that movie because Crank 2 is interesting as like a fucking like Australopithecus type movie. You know, like like the Crank 2 is kind of like a missing link. You know, because Crank 1 is like crude and fucking nasty, but like it's doing that in a way that I think kind of works. Like for example, like the guy, like his girlfriend, right? There's all these like fucking scenes where like he doesn't it feels like he genuinely like loves his girlfriend as a character in the first one. Like he's trying to hide shit from her, but it's because he doesn't want her involved in like this criminal life or some shit like that. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have Gamer, the movie they made after Crank 2. And Crank 2 is just nasty, or Gamer is just nasty towards all women in general. And then in Crank 2, he is reunited with his girlfriend, but his girlfriend's a stripper and he smacks her on the face when he sees her. Some shit like that.
Yeah, it's like it really, I think you're right when you describe it as kind of a missing link between those two movies because Crank 1 is like, yeah, it's nasty, but it's like nasty in kind of like a what's a fucking Jackass kind of way where it's like, okay, it's like it's not serious in like its shittiness, right? Well, then later Crank 2, it gets very shitty. And then Crank 3, sorry, I mean Gamer, it just decides that it's like, well, actually, I commit to being evil. Yeah, it puts on the MAGA hat. It's like, oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's interesting. Crank 2, I do want to watch again because I think Crank 2 is interesting for forensic reasons in ways that maybe Highlander 2 is interesting in the same way, but I don't think it's actually going to be legal. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out, but also I'm afraid. I'm afraid of where this rabbit hole goes, you know? I'm following the White Rabbit, Neo, Trinity, Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What movie is that from?
Matrix.
Really?
Yeah. Trinity, Morpheus.
I thought that was from the Rick and Morty episode, or I don't actually know if there's a Rick and
Morty. Morty. The Morty. I don't know, Rick. Oh, geez, Rick. God, I hate that fucking shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. You had anything else to say about Highlander 2? I think we covered all the bases, honestly.
Everything's stupid. Nothing matters. Everything happens at bad times. There are no stakes. I hate it. I just hate everything about this movie. I can't think of anything I love about this movie except for a couple of actors and their performances. That's it.
Yeah, I don't love anything about this movie. There's a couple things.
Highlander, low quality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
This one sucks.
That sucks.
I'll give it a do not watch unless you're into watching movies, which in that case, live your truth.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to watch a bad movie, this is one of them.
Yeah.
And if you want to show a movie to your friends that sucks, this is a good one.
Yeah.
This is a painful one.
If you've never seen a bad movie before and you're like, can movies even be bad? This might let you do that.
You know, if you love Dune, you'll love Highlander. No, I'm just kidding. Did anybody fall for that last episode, by the way?
I hope so.
Listener, not you. I'm asking the listeners. Did anyone fall for that when Monk said, if you like Dune, you'll love Pitch Black?
I really hope someone fell for that. I really hope someone paused the episode right there and went off and watched Pitch Black.
I hope one person did that. It'd be very funny.
All right, we got a voicemail.
All right,
you want to listen to it?
We got a voicemail. Yeah, let's mail voice.
Mail some voices. Can you hear this?
Hey, this is Froggy Doggy again, listening to the episode on Pitch Black. But you guys are not talking about that at all. I'm halfway through the episode. Whatever. First point, the weird hostile image. Personally, I think that is a biological male crotch, however you want to phrase it. But like that looks like a crotch to me, and someone on the other end might be doing the same thing. But basically, the like dick and balls are being held and pulled through the legs. I do not think it's penetrative at all. In fact, I would be surprised if that guy is hard or anything. I think that the thighs are just holding the like peen and elongating it to go through into the thigh. I don't think there's any actual penetration whatsoever. That's been my take since like the second I saw it. It was like, oh yeah, like it is two crotches, but it's not what it looks like, and it's weird because it's all smooth. Whatever. Anyway, second point. Actor. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is not really an actor. He is charismatic, but he plays himself in every fucking movie. Same thing with Will Smith for the most part. I think I've seen him act maybe once. But Vin Diesel is not a great actor, but he can play a character. He can play someone that is not himself. Batista absolutely can play someone that is not himself. Batista just also happens to be more charismatic generally than Vin Diesel. At least IMO. Obviously, you know, blockbusters say otherwise. You know, I don't think Fast and Furious would be a big franchise with Batista at the helm. Anyway,
I want to see
those are my
now.
2 cents.
Yeah, me too.
So Brian, so what do you think about this hypothesis that this is a soft penis that has been tugged between a woman's legs beneath her fupa area?
You know, I think
Fupa
I said
area
something
is
to
like
that
saying-
effect at some point.
Fupa area is like saying ATM machine. It just
It is. But excellent work. Yeah, no, I think I said something similar to that at some point. Perhaps Truggy had not gotten to it yet.
Yeah, if
Where
you,
somebody was getting yanked through it. Like
I don't remember you saying that. I think this is still
well,
but
I might have not said it there, but I definitely was thinking it at some point somewhere in my life. That came up more than it should have in life generally for like a day. And you know, whatever, it's fine. Who cares? It was weird. It was weird, uncomfortable image to look at, and that's all.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, you should watch the last episode. 'Cause I don't want to describe it again.
Yeah. Doe or person?
Okay.
Okay.
Also Vin Diesel versus the others. Yeah. I think Dwayne Johnson isn't actually the Tooth Fairy, so there's your whole fucking storyboard.
That's so true. That's so true. I do think it's very funny to say that that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson just isn't an actor. I don't even know if I disagree, but it's just funny. It was like very funny. So excellent work on that. Yeah, fucking Vin Diesel definitely acts a little bit, not always well, but does, sure.
He's trying.
But yeah, Dave Bautista is just the best, and I want to kiss. I mean, I love Dave Bautista. That's all I got to say.
Listen,
I don't need to kiss. I don't need to kiss everyone that I love as an actor. Okay.
The Rock is in fucking Fast and the Furious too, right?
Yeah, they
I
both
think
are.
they've
Yeah.
got fucking room for a Bautista in Fast and the Furious. I mean, what the fuck? Like,
why
not?
Yeah, they should just put him in it.
I think even if you don't want to fucking roll him into the whole franchise, or if he doesn't want to be in the franchise, I get that. I think they could put him in as like a villain in one movie that gets killed off. You know, I think he could do it.
Yeah.
I see no reason why he couldn't.
Yeah, true. True.
I don't know if Fast and the Furious would be worth his time, frankly, but I think they should try.
I think it would be a bonus to the Fast and the Furious, but would be bad for Dave Bautista. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Dave Bautista, love yourself. Don't do Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
Unless you really need that money to buy some lunchboxes. In which case, fucking, go off, King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of going off, that's the end of the show.
Yeah.
We're about to go off.
We made it. We made it. We survived that fucking movie.
Yeah. You can give us a call at the Edging Hotline. Edging Hotline, that is 920-350-EDGE, 920-3343. You can email us at edgelordpod@gmail.com. We're on Twitter. We're everywhere. We're watching you. We're inside your walls. We're coming from inside the house.
We are in your walls. We are the cable company.
Yeah.
And we are also your ISP.
We have agents in every city. We have eyes and ears everywhere. So don't even fucking think about if you fucking try to do anything, try to pull some shit. Just keep that in mind. That's all I'm saying.
I know. So, Monk knows. We're watching you.
Yeah. Until next week. I'll see you. You don't see me.